John Wick 3, Parabellum.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Mr. Hat, and I just got back from seeing John Wick 3. This movie stars Keanu Reeves, Ian McShane, and Halle Berry, aka Miss Ohio, in like 1985, I believe. Am I wrong about that? This movie was once again written by the same people, I forget their names, but also directed by Chad Stahelski, who directed the first two, and he has a history with doing stunts. He's a stunt coordinator. He knows how to film stunts. I believe he used to be like a stunt double for Keanu Reeves in The Matrix. Correct me if I'm wrong again, these are things I've heard. But this movie is a direct continuation from part 2, and he is on the run, he is excommunicado, and the whole world is after him because there's a bounty for $14 million if they can kill him. Now, what I'm about to tell you is not hyperbole. This is my true opinion. To get prepared for this movie, I watched the first one yesterday. I was like, that movie's fucking great. And then I watched the second one, and when that movie was over, I was like, that movie was fucking awesome. A little unrealistic, but that's what these movies are. They're just fun. That's what they're trying to be. But then I watched this one, and I can tell you this right now. This movie is fucking amazing. This is the best one so far. Now, I went in, I had the bar set high expectations. I was giddy as fuck, and I was not disappointed. There is no negatives that I have for this movie. I could criticize little things that I could say about the first two, like you have to suspend, disbelief and just accept the fact that he's this good and everyone else sucks at aiming and they don't know when to shoot. And, this guy has a knife and this guy has a gun. Why don't they all have guns? It's convenient when this guy doesn't have a gun, but this guy, doesn't. Whatever. But I can look past that because everything else is just mind-blowing. This movie, once again, has great fucking action sequences, and this movie starts with an adrenaline rush for the first, 30 minutes, what feels like. I didn't timestamp it, I wasn't looking at my watch or anything, because I was glued. The first person who dies in this movie will make you laugh and cheer. People were clapping. This movie is awesome. This is the bloodiest John Wick so far, and I think the body count is more than part 2. I think the first one had about 80 to 100, low 100s, and the second one had close to 200. And then this one, it's definitely over 200. I like that this movie tries to do little things. They just add little things that make it stand out just a little bit from the other ones. In this one, we got Halle Berry. She's like this, she's an equal match. She does the same things that John Wick does. She knows how to kick ass just like him. She's doing the same martial arts moves as him. Double tap, headshot. And Halle Berry took 6 months of martial arts for this movie, and you could tell it paid off. This movie also inserts dogs. She has 2 dogs that she uses to attack people, and the dogs do a lot of damage. They don't just use them once. They're attacking everybody. This movie has great humor in it. It knows when it's not in the wrong places, and it's not too much. It's not cringeworthy. It knows to have a good time. It's not trying to be too serious, but it doesn't the comedy doesn't ruin everything. In fact, the action sequences, you kind of have to laugh when things are happening. They both realize there's knives behind them. They just get the knives and they start throwing them at each other.
Do you understand the repercussions if he survives?
John Wick, excommunicado, is now in effect.
It's just one action piece after another. They go from this place and they go next door and they get on the bikes, they get on a horse, they get in the barn. There's horses, and it's fucking amazing. I would say that there's more fighting in this movie and action pieces than there is downtime. This movie has a lot of hills and not that many valleys. It can slow down here and there, but it's just for story. This movie actually is a origin story a little bit. It's not like a Batman Begins origin story, like a flashback or anything, but we get to know John Wick's real name. John Wick is just his assassin name. That's not much of a spoiler. It's not important, but just know that you get to learn why he's good at what he does, why he knows Russian, why he can fight so good. You get to meet a few new friends of his, and there's a twist towards the end. Not a twist, but a shocking thing that happens, and it's holy crap. I like that we get to learn just a little bit more about this organization. The second one really dove deep into this organization, the Continental, and how it all works. This one peels the layers just a little bit more back, and we get to learn that there's this adjudicator who's even higher up, and we get to see the person who's actually the top guy, who's really in charge of this organization. You get continuity with the cast. You get Lawrence Fishburne back. You even get the guy who got killed at the end of the second one back just to play a dead body. I'm a huge continuity guy, so when I saw that, I was like, A+ right there. The first 20 minutes of this movie, I automatically was like, this movie's getting an A+. I'm in it. There's nothing can ruin this. Just when you thought like it was starting to get kind of redundant, because there's a lot of like the same types of, shot there, shot, and they shoot like 20 people the same way. They do the same martial arts moves, but then they'll throw something in there that kind of like, change the pace, like to add something, the dogs and the Halle Berry and just throwing knives. That wasn't in any of the other ones. This movie was an adrenaline rush from the beginning to end. Like I said, hardly any valleys. So it's a lot of hills. It's a lot of fucking fun. There's action pieces where it's like, holy crap, it's been like 10 minutes and these people are still fighting. I like that John Wick, just like in the other two, he's still like not perfect. He gets hurt. In all these movies, he's not Superman. He gets hurt, and I like that because, we don't want the unstoppable person. You want to feel like some gravitas, like some, you want panic and worry, like, is he going to make it? Will he get killed? Is this person too much for him? And there's some suspense because of that, because you care about this character and because he can get hurt. Therefore, that his life is in danger. So you care just a little bit more, like there's more suspense there. If I thought he was Superman, I wouldn't worry at all. I'd be like, go get him. I like that this movie travels to different places too. It's not just New York City. And it's funny to think that I was in New York City like a week before they shot there. And if I was there like a week later, I could have saw them filming in like Times Square and Grand Central Station. It would have been fucking awesome if I was there. I'm sure it would have been like a close set and they kicked everybody off, whatever. But it would have been nice to see it. I was there a week before. There's funny little callbacks. There's little action pieces where I'm like, oh, that kind of reminds me of that one scene in part 2. And that reminds me of part 1. There's like little callbacks. It's not like, very obvious. But if you just watch them leading up to this, you're like, oh, that kind of reminds me of that one part. And 2, I feel like they're trying to pay like fan service, like, hey, this is kind of like that one moment. And like I said, there's just funny jokes and like jokes that kind of like, go back to part 1. They're joking about like, you're doing this all because of a dog. It's in the trailer where that woman's like, this is all because of a puppy. It's like, it's not just a puppy. Love the way this movie was shot. Like I said, the camera work, it's not shaky cam at all. These movies aren't known for that. These movies, they film the action great. You see everything that's happening. Even car chases, there's no multiple cuts. You see everything. There's some great neon lighting. I like when like the first 2 have great neon lighting, like blue and red lights, that club scene. This one doesn't have a very like, techno, what's it called, dubstep soundtrack. I didn't hear any of that, so like the soundtrack to this movie is more like action-like. It's not like, like dubstep like the first one was and the second one where they had like that badass soundtrack over the action. This one's kind of like more just an action score. But like I said, this movie's bloody too. This is the bloodiest one. Heads being shot off, lots of samurai swords fighting. There is blood. It might be CGI blood, but it doesn't take you out in the moment. It looks real enough. This movie was just amazing. So I gotta say, when it comes to John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, this movie is an action masterpiece. Parabellum means prepare for war, apparently. I'm not sure what language it is, but that's what it means, according to the movie. They bring back that cool, like, colors, like the subtitles that pop up, that this series is known for now, the cool stylized font. They bring it back in here, too. And we might be seeing a John Wick 4, hopefully. Maybe 2021? Maybe? Maybe. I don't know. I hope so. Oh, I hope so. Anyways, those are my thoughts on John Wick 3. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. Go see this movie. See it twice. Don't see it with a bad crowd. I hope you have a good crowd. My crowd was cheering and clapping, but I did have one annoying person next to me. There's always that one annoying person crinkling shit, chewing on ice, clearing the throat every fucking minute, and you just want to elbow them in the throat like John Wick. But hopefully you have a good experience, because this movie is awesome. So hopefully, yeah, I hope you have a good experience. This movie's amazing. Watch it 3 times. It's awesome. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Hit this like button to support this video. If you agree with it all, let me know. Follow me on social media, and you can become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds to see more. And until next time, das vidania.